We're about to get into this conversation. We're going to talk about the situation that happened in South Carolina. We're in overtime right now. As you guys know, there was a girl, 16. She had a phone, and I guess the principal or the teacher told her to give her phone up. She didn't give the phone up, so they went to principal. Principal told her to give the phone up. She didn't get the phone up. They called the police. The police sent the school resource officer. There was a video. The officer told her to get out the chair. She didn't get out of her chair. The officer grabbed her, flipped her desk over, and then threw her across the floor and handcuffed her. The officer has since been fired by the police force. The sheriff admitted that the officer was in the wrong. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the floor to get the opinions of people like Clausel, Tony Watley. I'm pretty sure they're going to have opinions similar to the sheriff that I've been seeing on TV making the rounds. So I'm going to go ahead and let these guys go ahead and speak and see what their opinions of the situation are. Go ahead, Clausel.
You're already giggling. What's the giggle for?
I know, right?
I'm missing it.
Hey,
what's the giggle
by
for?
Buck dancing too. Any black person that disagrees with him is a buck dancer. But anyway.
Exactly. And talk about the Rufus
whatever
Cox is on Fox News every day.
Is, man. He plays the
Come on.
card. You know how it is.
Why you put all this craziness before we start speaking?
Yeah, no. He's just playing the Uncle Tom card. I know how it is. It's all good.
I didn't even give you guys my opinion, so you don't know we might have the same opinion.
Yeah. First of all, the teacher was a black. Here we go with this BS. James playing the music.
Exactly. Are y'all going to let us talk, or y'all going to keep interrupting and talking over us and playing music? Because then we ain't no use to talking about it if y'all going to talk.
Clausel right now. Be quiet.
I said we got to lay the rules first. Clausel, because if we don't,
you got to let us
what's going to happen.
Yeah, but the thing is, the guy, the teacher was a black male, first and foremost. So the student doesn't want the black female student who probably comes from a single parent home. I know she's an orphan, but I bet she came from a single parent home with her mother. Has a lack of respect for black male authority, first and foremost. She chose not to take away her cell phone after she was told repeatedly by the instructor, the AP, and then the student resource officer to repeatedly take out the cell phone. She chose not to do it because she felt that she could get away with it, okay? That's what it boils down to. She felt that she could get away with it and not be held accountable. And so the officer had to do what he had to do. I'm be honest with you, I'm not mad at what the officer. I mean, you got to look at it from the instructor's perspective. You're not looking at it from an instructor's perspective. He's trying to get the job done, trying to teach the students to learn something, but this student right here wants to be disruptive because of her own selfish benefits. Right, so why should she have to get her way at the expense of everyone else? What happened to her? I'm not saying that. I think the officer may have been a little bit too excessive, but I don't think it was his intent to throw her across the room. Everybody thinks that it was that officer's intent to throw her across the room. I don't think it was his intent. He tried to pick her up out of her seat, and she resisted. She started hitting the officer, whatever the case is.
Yes.
And what happened? The officer used more force, and I'm pretty sure he's a strong guy, and the force threw her across the room.
Okay, now you do realize that the officer's already been fired, and that the sheriff's department's already admitted that he was wrong, right?
Yeah,
so you're not,
I know because of public pressure.
So you're literally defending a losing battle, but keep going.
Yeah, I know. I know he's lost his job. I think the girl was at the wrong. I mean, we know that the girl was at the wrong, but what I'm saying is, like, what else is the officer supposed to do? I mean, like, push a pressure point or something? Beg her not to take off the cell phone out or something?
Let me ask you this question. Why was a police officer called in that type of situation anyway?
Because if the teacher...
Wait. Can we finish let us finish our points, and then you guys give your points, and then we discuss it.
What? I mean, the teacher told the student...
Don't ask questions yet.
Yeah, okay. The teacher told the student not to take away the cell phone. What? I mean, the teacher's supposed to touch her? If the teacher touches her, he loses his job.
Why didn't they call the student's mother?
He's going to lose his job anyway because he's a black male.
Don't ask questions yet. Let him just finish what he got to say.
He's going to lose. The teacher's going to lose his job anyway. He's a black male, and the stuff happened in his class, so he's not going to get the benefit of that anyway. The students don't respect him because he's a black male. That's what led to this whole thing anyway, because of her lack of respect for black male authority. That's what led to this whole situation. okay, and she felt like she could get away with anything, and she had what was coming to her. I mean, that was the bottom line. I've been in classrooms where the same thing happens all the time. Teachers
right,
tell the students,
but that's because you and I are instructors.
Yes.
You and I are instructors, and we teach black kids. We know how it works.
Yeah, and they have lack of respect for black authority, particularly black male authority. All right, so that student got what I know this is controversial. She got what she deserved. Whatever, I don't care. You can say I'm a sellout, buck dance. She got what she deserved.
Now I'm gonna say my point, and then y'all say y'all. Let me say my point. First and foremost, relook at the tape. Relook at the tape.
No.
Who else in that? No, don't talk. Just listen. Like I asked you, don't talk. No comments. Look at the tape. On that tape, when that officer did that, show me one person in that room that did anything to say you're wrong. Not a single person, not the principal, not the teacher, and not a single one of them students said a word. You know why? Because everybody in that room thought she deserved what she got. Everyone in that room. And because of that, that is why I'm saying, first and foremost, the girl was wrong. The teacher told her a specific thing, and as a student, it is your place to obey your teacher when you are in class. I don't care who the fuck you think you are. You are not more superior than the instructor in the room. He is the superior. I don't care if your mama died. I don't care what the fuck you going through. I don't care if you're on your period. You obey the teacher. The teacher is the person that says what goes on in the room. When she starts not listening to the teacher and doing what she wants to do because she's having a bad day, that is not a fucking excuse to do what you want to do in a classroom. Period. Then the teacher calls the principal. The principal comes in and tells her the same thing. She ignores the principal. Now you done went to a higher authority because this guy is in charge of the entire school. And if you're not going to listen to your teacher and you're not going to listen to the principal, you don't need to be in the fucking school. It's that simple. If you can't listen to the authorities in the school, you don't need to be in the school. And you keep asking, how did the security guard get there? Every school in America has a security guard now. There is a police officer in every school in America, especially high school. There is a security guard, and that's who that guy was. And he was asked to come into that room and remove that young lady by the principal of that school.
And I want to add something to that. Oh, sorry.
And he came in. He asked her several times to get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. And she just sit there. He grabs her by her arm, and she yanks away from him. When he grabs her by her arm again, she starts fighting him, and that's when he grabs the desk, turns it over, and yanks her out. But nobody wants to see all of that. All you want to see is that it's a white man grabbing a black girl. That's
and
all
I want to say something too. I want to say something too. Based on the classes. I'm gonna let you say something. I want to add something to what Wiley said. Based on what I've seen in classrooms, I think there should be more of these officers coming in these schools doing stuff like this because the way these kids act now, they feel like they can get away with anything. And the teachers, and they feel like they can talk to any of the teacher any kind of way. And for people that have never been in that situation before, never been in an instructor role before, they want to call these people sellouts, Uncle Tom, and stuff like that. But until you're in that situation, I understand clearly what that guy did. I think the girl got what she deserved, and I think it should happen more to some of these students.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. I totally agree. She got exactly what she deserved. If that would have been my child, I'd have yanked his ass out of that chair too.
And my thing is, if a girl like that, the first thing is, a girl like that, she shouldn't even be in that school. Okay, go ahead, go. Just go.
All
right, go.
First of all, that's not what happened in the tape, Watley. That's not what happened.
It was. Oh my God. Keep going.
Am I going to get to speak?
You're going to get to speak, man. You're going to get to speak. I'm going to put myself on mute, man. Let that listen to this BS. Oh, my God.
That's not what happened in the tape. Second of all, it don't matter. Like I say, you know, it's a matter of manhood. Like I say, there's no reason for a man to do that to a girl. There's no reason. If he couldn't figure out in his mind a better way of doing that, he doesn't need to be a police officer, which he's fired right now. Like I said, the sheriff has admitted that the man was in the wrong for handling it the way he did. This isn't something Mike made. I know we like to play the Mike made up, and it's Quanzell and Watley versus Mike. The sheriff has already admitted this man was wrong and fired him. So this isn't something that I made up. If you can't figure out how to handle it, like I said, you can't tell me that her sitting there caused more of a disturbance than what the police officer did. Not only did they arrest her, they also arrested the girl that was filming it because she was filming them. Like I said, and what cause is that to be arrested for? I've been suspended. When I was in high school, I got sent to detention. I never was arrested. You're going to detention and you're under arrest. For what?
Nothing, man.
Like I say, as a man, not a police. Besides police officer, besides the school, as a man, he did not have to put his hands on that girl like that. That's a coward. Like I said, these cowards. Like I said, this isn't the first time I've seen one of these police officers do this to a little girl or do this in a school. But yet, when these kids come in these schools with these guns, where are these big resource officers at then? How come nobody's body slamming Dylan Roof? You know, how come nobody body slamming Dylan Claiborne and Eric Harris? Where's the big brave police officer out there? Because I'm sure shooting up a school is a disturbance, right? But that's different though, I guess, because those aren't black kids; those are white kids, right?
Preach.
Like I said, you guys can justify the shit any way you want it. The man's been fired because he was in the wrong. Like I say, two wrongs will never make a right. Yeah, the girl was wrong. Like I said, I'm not going to justify her behavior. What I'm going to say is an overreaction is no way to react to that. And dude was in the wrong. You can be mad because you're a teacher or whatever. If you don't got the tolerance to be a teacher, don't do the shit. Plain and simple. Get a new job. Get somebody else in there who got tolerance to, get somebody else in there who got the tolerance to deal with that. If you can't hang with it, get a new job.
Somebody else gets that's on the
I know, man. Cali Mike would have done the same damn thing. He would have done the same damn thing. I know Cali Mike. He would have done the same damn thing.
He gave you your chance, nigga. Come on now.
He's so full of shit. Cali Mike would have done the same damn thing as that officer would have. So I don't even want to hear that shit.
Hold on. I didn't say I was done. I let you guys talk.
We gave you your chance.
Let me finish. I let you guys talk. Let me finish.
Keep going.
Like I said, if you don't have the temperament to be a police officer, get you a new job. That's not for you.
He was doing his job.
Wiley, I let you
his
talk.
Job was,
let me
he is
Wiley,
a law
Wiley,
enforcement officer.
Wiley,
enforcing. He was asked to come in there and enforce the rules, and that is what the fuck he did.
All right,
let's let him go.
Let's go. Let's next person. I'm done.
Y'all done.
I'm done.
You.
Now, you see, like I said, I couldn't get to finish though. But go. That's okay. Like I said, it's a matter of manhood. But go ahead. I'll let you go back to
the line. Go ahead. There's another person on the line. Let them go.
I'm ready. I'll go.
I'm on mute.
No, you're not.
Go.
Can't say you're on mute.
I do want to say something. All right, if no one's going to go, I'm going to go.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really have nothing to say about that, man. Like, I mean, I've been at a school where I've seen the resource officers and security guards yank people up, man. But it was mostly because, they were fighting or doing other things. I mean, yeah, there was different ways he could have handled that situation, man. Like, but once you don't know what happens when you're in the heat of the moment, somebody started trying to fight you and stuff. Come on now. Like, you can sit here and say,
the only reason they're feeling sympathy is because it was a girl. Had that been a black boy, nobody would have said shit.
They wouldn't have.
Especially if he would have put them hammers to him.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? If he had put them hammers, what y'all would have been saying?
Yeah, and see, like I said, once again, you guys have changed the whole narrative of what the situation was. And
all right, we're going to keep it there.
And made
so was there? Let me ask you,
James. Say what you gotta say, James. Say what you gotta say. We keep it on the black girl. Keep going. Say what you gotta say, James.
James.
We had a question posed first.
What was the question?
And then I will go.
All right, what's the question?
My question is, hello?
What's your question?
I'm saying, what was the tolerance? What was there a zero tolerance for cell phone uses in the school?
Yeah,
there's a zero tolerance for cell phone use in every high school in America.
Yes, there is. And when I observe classrooms, I do that, and I'm going to start doing that up here in Tallahassee. And particularly in these inner city classrooms. When I think that's an inner city classroom. The teacher there is a no cell phone policy, because if you have your cell phone out,
every high school in the United States, it is a zero policy to be able to use your cell phone unless it's an emergency.
Yes, that's true. And
that is a rule.
And when the teacher, like, it goes against the teacher's observation, that affects his observation score if the students have their cell phone when the teacher is evaluated by the principal or whatnot. So the instructor had to have that girl, had to set the tone for the class to be like, hey, there's no cell phones allowed, because when my evaluator comes, you're not allowed to have your cell phone, and he comes anytime he wants to. All right, so...
But come on, Clauzel, what was really going on is this little girl was trying to prove she was smarter than the damn teacher. I'm okay with this by sneaking to use my cell phone when nobody else is using theirs and nobody else can use theirs. I'm going to show him that I can get away with it. She was trying to prove she was smarter than her teacher, and she got caught.
Go ahead, James.
And when she got caught, she had no consequences.
Wiley, hold on, Wiley, real quick.
All right, y'all done.
Real quick, Wiley.
Yeah, go ahead, James.
All right, y'all done.
I wasn't even finished. I didn't get a chance to say what I had to say.
And said, no. Everybody has went ahead and said what they got to say. I didn't say any word.
I'm on mute. I'm on mute.
No, you're not. So
let me
handle that for you. I'll handle that for you. Okay, now you're on mute. All right? Now, let's go ahead. Let's start from number one, right? The first thing that I question over everything is this, right? So, this original story is because this young child was using a cell phone in class, right? Here's where I question this whole thing. So if she was reprimanded for using her cell phone in class, who in the world took that video of the policeman dragging her out? What was that done with? I wonder.
They all took them out once it started. You saw everybody take them out.
One. Wait a minute.
Damn, I thought you muted Watley.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do I have to mute everybody? Because I didn't need a mute, and I didn't say a word. But yet y'all could even try to attempt to put yourself on mute, and you still want to speak. You get it? Now y'all just do something. Actually, wait a minute. Let's do something here, class. Let's try to follow directions. And when a person speaks, y'all don't speak. Is that what a teacher tells his students? I think so. Let's see if y'all can follow directions.
Well, if you don't ask the question, you won't get an answer. Don't ask the question and you won't get an answer.
That shows me the example right there. That shows me a clear example. A clear example. A clear one. Because when y'all spoke, I didn't say anything.
We didn't ask the
ones
question.
that set the rules. Y'all were the ones that set the rules before we even got into this thing. And y'all breaking it yourselves. So what does that tell about you? Number one. So that's eliminated. So now let's get to the point.
Please.
Let's get to the point. Number one, everybody's in the wrong in this situation. Everybody. Principal, teacher, student, officer, everyone. Let's break it down. Teacher sets the tone, right? Obviously, that teacher didn't do their job. Because if there is a supposed zero tolerance policy for cell phones in the classroom, then what do? You check them at the door. They have a cell phone, you get the cell phone at the door. Once the class is done, they get the cell phone when they leave. That's zero tolerance as far as I'm concerned, because I've seen examples of it. That's number one. Number two, if that student broke the rules, that's on her. How you deal with that student is on you. If the teacher can't handle that teacher don't need to be on the job. Fire him, expel him, get him out, done. There are many teachers that have said that over the course of this time, ever since it's happened. They said, as a teacher, if you can control your student up to the point where you need an SRO officer to get them out, you don't need to be a teacher. Point blank. Now to the officer. If you can't tell me that it takes that much effort for you to take a student out of a classroom, especially one that's much smaller than you don't need to be an officer. Whether they got fired or not, you don't need to be an officer. I've seen deans of high schools be able to remove students out of a classroom with less force. You don't need to drag anyone out of there with that type of force. One of the things that officers should be trained to do is how to restrain people from doing anything to them without using that much harm towards them, especially if they don't have a weapon on their hands. But apparently, this officer used excessive force and dragged the young student out of the classroom in a way that he shouldn't have. So, one by one, all of them were in the wrong. So there's nobody that gets exempt in this case. Nobody.
Are you finished?
Yeah, man. I'm like, this is ridiculous. First of all, you want to go, Wiley? Because I can dissect that shit up in a minute. You want to go, Wiley?
Come on. That was a full cake of shit.
It was. It was a bunch of bullshit. First of all, it's not the teacher's fault that the student had the cell phone out. All right, so you sound about if the teacher has to be responsible, has to have like a bucket or something where the students just put their cell phones out. That's not the teacher's responsibility is not to do that if there's a no cell phone policy. If there's a no cell phone policy, that means the students don't put out the damn cell phone. That's as simple as that. All right, if they put out the cell phone,
syllabus. They signed it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, if they put out the cell phone, they get punished. No, the teacher ain't got to put no damn bucket out there. No, it's the student's responsibility to not to put out the damn cell phone. All right, so, I mean, that's first and foremost. And the student that was recording it, she broke the rules, obviously. All right, so she has lack of respect.
Where have you ever been a teacher at?
Huh? I've observed teachers. I've done observations in teachers in Tampa. I'm going to start doing it in Tallahassee.
No, not college. I'm talking about high school and kids.
No, I observed high school classes. I observed high school physics and physical science classes. I can
promise you, college classes are no different than high school classes when you're dealing with black kids.
You're out of your mind.
Well, you know,
tell me.
You're out of your
I agree with you.
How are you going to tell me?
Let me finish. Hold on, let me finish.
High school classes, Wadley. That's why.
Quazell, Cali Mike, hold on a second. I want Tony to repeat what he just said.
I taught at a career college. It is 90% black students that could not get into a university, probably couldn't even do good in community college, so they go to career college. These are the students that could not make it in a university, so they go to career college. And I'm telling you, in a career college, when you deal with a room full of black kids, they're doing the same shit they were doing in high school.
That's true.
Don't tell me. I taught it for 5 years. Don't tell me.
Not at a school like FAM. I'm talking about at a career college. I agree with you because I actually taught statistics at a career college, but it was a lot smaller amount of students. But I did get some behavioral issues. It was like about 10 students in a class. But I can see where Wiley's is because I've been to Wiley's class before, and it's a larger amount of students.
This wasn't an all-black classroom, and this wasn't an all-black school, so I think that's.
Let me first.
What does that have anything to do with it? I'm saying the students in the classroom are belligerent and disrespectful in college, just like they are in high school.
All-black class, and this wasn't an all-black school, so like I said, so that's.
What does that have anything to do with it?
Well,
You're going off on a tangent.
His class was mostly black. I've been to his class before. At the career college. I'm not saying not at a school like a HBC or like a FAMU.
What does this have to do with what we're talking about?
All right, let me finish. Okay, let me go ahead. Let me just dissect what James said. First of all, it's the students' responsibility not to put out the damn cell phone. First and foremost, okay, the teacher ain't his responsibility to put out no bucket where the students put their cell phones in.
Okay, Quazell, can I ask you one question? I'm gonna let you finish. If we concede that the student was in the wrong, can we stop talking about her behavior and talk about the police officer's behavior?
But that's what no. You can't separate them. That's what led to the thing.
The focus is not pop.
You're not listening.
Our focus is the student.
I just
not the cop.
You said if you concede that the student was in the wrong.
No, you can't. Because that's what's critical to the whole discussion.
Who did I put the focus on? Who did I say was in the wrong in this case? Who? Everybody. Every single person.
And first of all, so the point is, what I'm saying is, you can't blame the teacher. The teacher did.
Focus on anybody.
You can't blame the teacher.
I agree. No focus on anybody.
You can't blame the teacher. You can't blame the principal.
So don't even try that.
You won't even let me finish.
No.
James, you won't let me finish.
Everybody was in the wrong.
And I know, and I'm disagreeing with you. You cannot blame.
That's my point. Go ahead.
I got your point, and you're wrong. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
You cannot blame the teacher. The teacher followed the correct protocol. All right. The student had no respect for the teacher. I think partly because he was black. She had no respect for the teacher.
You don't know
I really believe that. I really believe that. She had no respect for the teacher. So the teacher followed protocol. The teacher called the AP. AP came. AP, none of them wanted to touch the student because they know if they touch the student, all hell's going to break loose. They're fired, basically. So they called the student resource officer, and the student resource officer has the ability to put their hands on the student, and the student resource officer did what he was supposed to do. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Now it's my turn to tell you how you were wrong, James.
It's not the teacher's fault. It's not the principal's fault. They followed the correct protocol.
When you said
address the police officer's behavior. Did you notice that?
Wait. Let me tell James where he was wrong.
She got what she's supposed to get. She got what she got. She's observed what she got. I think there should be more of these cops out there.
Just said, are you?
No. What?
All right, go ahead.
You made this comment that the teacher should have handled it a certain way. No, the teacher handled it exactly the way school protocol told you to handle it. School protocol says that you as a teacher cannot put your hand on that child. So he couldn't have went up to her and took that phone. He couldn't have went up to her. You were talking about how another thing you said is this whole thing about I have seen other principals and stuff go in and take other kids and get them out of the room. You can't compare kids. You don't know that kid was not as willing to go as the kid that was sitting in that video.
Callie might not go to those types of high schools. Callie might did not go to those types of high schools. You did not go to that type of high school, Callie Mike, so don't even go there. I know you didn't, so don't know.
You just not compare
kids. You did not go to that type of high school.
You just did it.
No, let me finish. What I'm saying is, it's easy to say, well, I've seen it before where the teacher went and got the student to leave. But that's not the same student. This little girl was determined she wasn't getting out of that chair.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Oh, boy. Oh, y'all done?
Goodness.
I mean, I don't understand. See, you just laughing. I mean,
wait a minute.
Okay, let me ask you one question, Wiley. Let me ask you one question. I would have liked to see it happen to some of the students I've seen in class.
Quazell, let us go. Damn, dude.
Keep going. She got what she deserved.
Let me ask you guys this question.
I don't feel sorry for her.
Why didn't they call the girls back?
What'd you say?
Oh, my goodness. Forget it. I'm done.
You said, why did they call the girls' parents?
No.
Why did they call the girls' parents?
You're not even
the parents ain't going to do nothing. Hold on. That's a good question right there, Callie Mike. That was a very good question.
Oh, my goodness.
You asked me, why did they not call the girls' parents? That's a very good question.
I'm done.
I'm going to follow up on you.
Then we ain't got to hear him no more. He's done.
I know. I'm going to follow you up on that. You know, and Wiley, I want you to listen to this. Callie Mike said, why did they call the girls' parents? Well, hell, what the parents going to do? They ain't been doing nothing the whole life. That's why she acting like that.
Amen.
That's why she acting like that.
No.
Amen.
I didn't know that.
I'm kind of curious about this whole thing because we're dealing with a couple of people that say that they're educators and they're teachers.
Oh Lord, here we go with this Uncle Tom bullshit. But keep going.
And no, I'm not saying anything about no Uncle Tom stuff because if I really would have said something about that, you would have already proven it already. So we're gonna move past that. But what I'm saying is this: number one, okay, as an educator, right? If you're in a school, whether it's elementary, middle, high school, or whatever, and a student is acting out, proper protocol may be, I said may be, to contact the student's parents first.
Bullshit. That is not protocol.
Now,
that is not protocol.
Wait a minute.
That is not protocol. The parents are the last resort.
Wait a minute. Are y'all breaking protocol again? Y'all can't follow directions again? Is that what y'all doing?
Because you don't know what you're talking about, but keep going, man. Keep going.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. The parents are the last resort.
No. I was going to be patient, but since y'all want to break protocol, y'all the educators that want to break protocol, y'all the educators that want to set rules but break them at the same time, being contradictory.
I'm mute. I'm on mute.
Being contradictory. Y'all just sit back, relax, calm yourselves down.
Then stop asking questions. If you ask a question, I'm going to answer you.
Please put Wiley on mute. Please.
I'll put myself on mute.
Tony Wiley, you are the one that's supposed to set the example for everyone that's in this chat. You are. But you're the one that's breaking it.
Wow.
And it's time and time again that you're breaking it. You set the example for us. You are supposed to be the role model for us.
I'm on mute.
Okay.
You can't just say you're on mute. Stop
Let's see how this works. Okay, now, as an educator, you know what the rules are for the school, through the individual school and the county, and you follow specific protocol and make adjustments towards that. Now, my thing is this. When I say that, if there is a zero tolerance policy for cell phone usage, you as a teacher set the tone from the jump. If you allow cell phones in your classroom, expect those cell phones to be used. I don't care what type of student you deal with. It doesn't, they could be black, white, Spanish, Chinese, from Sierra Leone or whatever. If you don't set the tone first and foremost, they don't respect you from 21 jump. I don't care if you're an educator in Tennessee. I don't care if you're an educator in Florida. I don't care if you're an educator in Washington, D.C. I don't care if you're an educator in Massachusetts. I don't care if you're an educator in California. If you can't set the tone from day one, it's over. I don't care how your lesson is. I don't care how good your lesson is. If you can't set the tone on day one, you might as well forget it.
Can I answer that now? Can I reply?
You might as well step out as being a teacher.
Okay, can I reply?
You might as well step out as being a teacher. So
I'm asking.
That's number one. Okay.
Can I reply?
Now number two. Number two.
I'm not interrupting. I'm asking a question. Can I reply?
Number two.
Oh my. Why is he all
Number two. Thank you. Number two. If they did have a cell phone in their class, why didn't you follow proper protocol, number one, and if you got the principal, that's number one. Number two, you contact their parents.
No.
First and foremost. Number three, if you have a school resource officer, that resource officer should not use that type of force on any student at any time if they are not being violent on the spot. Period. You can disagree with that all you want to. But
now can I talk?
If you need to use violence against somebody that is not using violence against you, then you shouldn't be a school resource officer. And like Callie Mike said, it's like Callie Mike said, it's funny how those school resource officers show up for stuff like this, but you don't see them anywhere in Colorado or Texas or any other type of school where they have those school shootings.
Now can I talk?
To be found. Nowhere.
Now can I talk?
Wiley, you're supposed to be shooting down. What's going on?
I know, James. You're taking a long time, man, to say your point, man. Keep going.
No. I'm taking the time that I am because, number one, I'm following directions unlike y'all. So, guess what? Y'all want to go?
And you keep interrupting
him. I don't need to put myself on mute. Go ahead.
Okay, now let me answer your questions, James. First and foremost, we have 60 minutes in a classroom to teach children what they have to get for a time. We do not have time to pat down every damn student. You got 32 students in a classroom. We don't have 20 minutes to pat down 32 students for cell phones. That's why we give them a syllabus on the first day, and we tell them, you need to be responsible and understand in my classroom, you don't use your phone, you put your phone on mute, and you do not take it out. We do not have time to pat kids down every single time they go into a classroom. This is not juvenile detention.
Nope.
Secondly, when you sit and you say to me that they should have got a hold of the parents, you're telling me that you don't understand protocol. You do everything you can within the building before you go outside of the building, and that includes the parents. And inside the building is a resource officer that the principal told to come in the room and remove the student, and that is what he did. The parent did not need to be contacted. I'm done.
Yeah, and then at the same time, let me finish. I'm not done talking yet. Hold on, I got something to say. And then hold on, and then you go to the parent. You go to the parent after school. You go to the parent after school. This situation happened during school, so he doesn't have time. He only got 50 minutes to teach a class, so he doesn't have time to interrupt the whole class and be disrespectful to the people that actually want to learn and call the parents. That's going to take time. He can just call the AP up and the AP come right down. Come on, man.
Wait.
No, you took your whole time. Let me. Can I say something, please? You're breaking protocol. Looks like it. So the point I'm trying to say is, the kid got what she deserved. And I think there should be more of these students as school resource officers in these certain types of schools. Now, you talk about, like, why does this happen in Colorado, why, whatever. These types of incidents tend to happen. And I know I love my people, and I'm keeping it real. These types of incidents tend to happen at these schools where there's majority black students. I'm just keeping it real. And I've done my observation. I've done my...
What type of incident?
This is where the students are just disruptive and they don't want to do anything.
Okay.
When you talk about shoot up, hold on, let me finish. You rarely ever see a kid shooting up random people at an inner city black school, because generally black people don't shoot random people up like that. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We shoot people we know. See, that's what I'm talking about. You play that music and shit, James. That's whatever. Do what you want. So the point I'm trying to say is... I didn't play that. So the point I'm saying is this. The girl got what she deserved, man. I mean, I hate to be cruel, but the girl was being disobedient, and she got what she deserved. And I think it's
let me say this. Like I said this before. Any man that condones that type of behavior towards a girl is a coward.
I'm sorry to say this, bullshit coming out of your mouth. When you say that, I know that's
you condone that, you're a coward.
When you say that, Callie Mike, I know that's bullshit coming out your mouth.
I know she wasn't there as a man.
If you condone that,
you're a coward. She wasn't there as a man. He was there for his job.
Like I said, besides the teacher, besides the police officer, as a man, if you condone
he wasn't there as a man. He was there as a police officer.
Callie Mike, that is
like
a
man.
He wasn't there as a personal man.
Like I said, as a man, if you condone that type of behavior,
you're a coward.
You would do that, Callie Mike.
As a man,
Callie Mike would do it in a heartbeat.
As a man, if you condone that type of behavior on a girl, you're a coward.
He wasn't there as a man. He was there as a correction officer.
Like I said, if you condone that type of behavior, as a
he
man,
was there as a correction officer. You can't just be correction officer to men. What are you saying? What are you saying? Correction officers are not supposed to touch women?
If you condone that type of behavior against a girl.
You're being fucking stupid right now. What are you saying? Policemen aren't supposed to touch women, but they can touch men.
All right, go ahead, James. Go ahead.
Man,
if that had been a boy, like I said, you guys are trying to make this seem like it's me. This man has been fired because he did an overt use of force.
He was fired for public reasons, so that they can let the whole public and the whole thing die down. That's why he's been fired.
You don't even know. That's not what the fucking sheriff said he fired him for. So shut up.
Of course they come up with some
I don't care what the sheriff said. That's why they fired him. They fired him to make sure that he would just die.
You don't care about the facts.
You know what? You know what the sad part about this is? You know what the sad part about this is? Now the students at that school are going to feel like they can get away with anything, and that's going to set them up for failure in the real world. That's going to set them up for failure.
I got a question for you, Callie. No. Clauzel, let me ask him this. I got a question for you, Callie Mike, and I got a question for you, James.
This cop has multiple incidences of abuse of force.
Let me ask this question.
He does it.
Let me ask this question. I got a question for you, Callie Mike, and for you, James. It's a simple question. What you gonna do with that girl next week?
Very simple. One-on-one. I'm trying to figure out what is up with that child. One-on-one.
So you're gonna give her complete individualized attention in a public school? Is that what you're saying?
Let me ask you a question.
You're going to pay somebody a salary to just teach her.
Wiley, let me ask you a question. As a teacher, shouldn't your job
You're going to pay somebody a salary just to teach her in a public school. Is that what you're telling me?
Wiley, let me ask you a question. As a teacher, shouldn't your job be to avoid conflict?
Answer the question. No, you're not answering my question. What are you going to do with this belligerent girl who won't listen next week?
I've already answered the question.
Okay, you fired the cop, but she comes back to school next week. What are you going to do with her next week?
I've already answered the question. Move on, or else I will move on for you, because I do have.
Okay, answer the question again. Your turn, Callie Mike. What you going to do with this girl next week?
It's on radio. I don't need to answer it again. So if you really want the answer, guess what? You wait until this thing is done, and then once it loads up and the podcast loads, you can listen to it again.
Answer the question, Kelly Mike. What are you going to do with this girl next week?
I agree with James.
Answer the question yourself. What are you going to do with this girl next week? See, y'all avoid the real question. The real problem is not the fucking officer. The real problem is the girl.
Never. You were just the ones that.
The real problem is the girl. The real problem was not the girl. The real problem is the girl. And the thing is, the school still has the same problem.
Answer the question. I've already answered.
You can bring in another resource officer, that's fine, but you still have the same problem because you still have the same girl.
Answer the question. So what? You mean the question, Watley? So what? No. Callie Mike, just hold on.
Oh, Callie Mike. No, this is what he said. He said he talked to the girl. You said you talked to the girl.
That's it. Now move on. Now, Clausel, I got something for you.
Okay, what's your question? I want to hear your question. What's your question?
All right, now you bring up this whole situation about these inner city kids and being in these schools and observing these schools and whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one of the things that we kind of go back and forth on a lot is this whole thing about education in general, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, if there was a different type of educational system or teaching method these children, towards children, how would you think that would affect these kids over the next 5 years?
I don't think it would affect it at all because when you talk about education, you're talking about learning. Well, you're talking about learning. I'm talking about behavior. This is a behavioral issue. And a behavioral issue is dealing with what's external, what's going on in the home, what's going on in the environment. That's what these issues are. This is a behavioral issue. Just because.
But here's my thing. Right?
What's your question?
Like over the course of time, because like in some studies, right?
Okay.
A lot of the kids, like from kindergarten to about 4th or 5th grade, they're pretty much good. But from 5th to 8th grade is like when they start, going by the wayside.
It's called puberty.
In education, right? So if you change the method in education, now there is another factor that is outside of the school. We all know that, okay? But inside the school, if you change the teaching methods to kind of like geared towards their interests or what they would be interested in within the classroom, would that affect their educational success or not?
That will affect their
Absolutely
educational.
not.
Hold on. It can have an impact on educational success, but the issue is the behavioral. The behavioral is messing up their educational success. Because here we go right here. Here we go right there, Callie. One of y'all doing this shit. But the point I'm saying is
that's not me. But
that's not me,
because you mean to tell me you think that the kids' behavior isn't related because they're not interested in the learning or the method that they're being taught in?
No.
Nope.
No, it's because of the fact that they are not being held accountable for their behavior in the household on a consistent basis, which does translates to school.
Okay. Can I say this real quick before we start arguing?
What do you think about
the reason why school.
So what do you think about?
Can I say this real quick before we start arguing? The reason why children change from 5th grade to 8th grade is because you hit puberty, you start being interested in girls, you start being interested in boys, and you start being interested in outside life versus education and just mama and daddy. So that when your interest starts being other things, you start paying attention to other things and not school. That has nothing to do with the education system. That's the human behavior.
And then you have to have somebody, and the key is you have to have somebody to give you some sort of reinforcement to keep you focused. And in the black community, we don't have that. We don't have that on a mass level in the black community. I'm not saying 100% of black people like that.
It's a parent's job to keep that kid focused. It's a parent's job to keep that kid focused on school.
Wait.
Okay,
and that's what's happening. They are turning it over to school to raise raise their children. It is not the school's job to raise their children. It is their job to raise their children, and they are turning it over to the school to raise their children.
Here's the issue.
So white parents keep their children more focused on school than black parents.
No, white parents are more interested in their kids' success than black parents. Yes.
Well,
you want to know why?
Here's the issue.
Because the way that a black parent sees success in their kid is put them out on the football field, put them out on the fucking baseball field, put them out on the basketball field so they can be some type of fucking superhero, and it has nothing to do with their education. It has nothing to do with their education. I'm not stereotyping. How many 4.0 black kids are graduating from public high school?
A lot of them.
That ain't no fucking stereotype, but every single body on the football field is a black kid trying to be a superhero. Every single person on the basketball team is a black kid wanting to be the next NBA star. Why? Because that's where their parents focus their attention on. Be a great athlete and don't worry about school.
So every black kid in high school plays sports?
You know that in order for them to play sports, they have to be academically eligible for one, and then for
they have to keep a 2.0 GPA.
This whole thing about parent involvement. This whole thing about parent involvement, it doesn't necessarily work all the time because a lot of these parents aren't able to be there for their child once that child is released from school.
Okay, but that's not the school's fault, and that's not the school's responsibility. The school is not there to raise your children. It is your job to raise your children.
That is not the parents' responsibility either. If they
How the hell is it not the parents' responsibility to raise their children?
No, it's not the parents' responsibility to be there when their kid is out after school. Are the parents there out?
You aren't even making sense right now.
Hold it. Calm down once again. Like I said, once these kids are out of school, a lot of these parents
at 3 o'clock, it's no longer the school's responsibility. It's the parents' responsibility.
A lot of these parents are still at work. Right?
Who gives a damn? Find something for your kid to do.
Okay, so you don't care if those parents are at work. Okay.
No, I don't care that they're at work.
We only got about 5 minutes left. We only got about 5 minutes left. So we need to start wrapping things up. I don't think we're going to get anywhere else with this because too much interruption.
How are you going to say it's the school's responsibility because the parent is at work? That's bullshit. Once they get out of school, it's the parent's responsibility.
All right,
you got it. I didn't say that. Go ahead, Kelly Mike.
Hey, look. Like I said, the thing is, like I said, we can get into the debate about the schools or whatever, and in different situations like that. Like I said, I'm not gonna take the accountability away from the little girl. Like I said, it's clear that there was overreaction by the police officer. Like I said, he lost his job over that. No matter what you say about public or whatever that the man lost his job over that because he did something wrong. You can't. 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's been proven. I think we can all agree about that, right?
1 wrong don't make her right either.
No, nobody. Once again, I already said that I'm going to concede that she was in the wrong. I said that in the beginning, but you kept yelling over me instead of letting me get my damn point out. I said that. I said, Claudette, didn't I, Claudette? I said, man, if I concede that the little girl was wrong, we just move on from that. I've been said that.
True.
She was wrong. But like James said, there's different ways that you can handle this shit. Like I said,
next week, how do you handle it? That's what I asked you about.
Hold up, Wally.
How you handle it next week? Or she coming back to school next week? How do you handle it next week?
Hold on. Can you let me finish, please? Damn. Like you said, if you have a complete week to think of a plan, you can't think of a plan to deal with this girl. Like you said, you have a syllabus. At the beginning of the year, you could tell the parents, look, I'm going to assume that almost every kid in the class has a cell phone, right? So I could get something like a cell phone caddy. I could get, like I said, a box. Hey, you know what? We need your cell phones off at this time. Or like I said, have the parent, have the kid sign a contract. You want to bring a cell phone in this class? You got to put your cell phone in this box. You check it out at the end.
It's called a syllabus. That's what the contract is. You have to sign your syllabus.
Wiley, okay, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. So there's no reason to be yelling right now. I agree. We're in agreement. You know, but what I'm saying is that there's ways that it could have been handled other than, okay, let me go call the police and cause a way bigger disturbance than what was originally done in the first place.
Again,
this is a police officer that had a history of abuse and overreacting and use of force. This wasn't like
again.
This wasn't an isolated
we are focusing on the results, and we are not focused on the problem. The results can be whatever it is. Fire him. That's fine. They're going to hire another one next week. But the problem has not changed because that girl is still there, and she's still the same belligerent ass little girl that she was last week.
Kill her? I mean, she already been beat up. I mean, what do you want to happen next? You want to? I mean, shit. What do you want to happen? What's your advice to happen? She already been beat up. What do you want to happen next? You want to behead her or cut her?
I want her expelled. She should get expelled from school because her actions deserve expulsion.
That should get her expelled from school, really?
Absolutely, because she was told to do something by her teacher, she was told to do something by her principal, and she did not do it. Forget what the officer did. She did not obey the principal, and she did not obey the teacher, and she should be expelled from school.
From what you're saying now, I don't care what you said. You've never taught children. I don't believe you. You've never taught children.
Like I said,
what you just said.
This has nothing to do with the officer. Even if he never touched her, she disobeyed her teacher and she disobeyed the principal. Right there, she should be expelled.
I can't wait.
If she is not going to listen to the authorities in the school, she should not be in the school.
You've never taught children, ever.
You know what?
So come on, think about it. Think about it like this, Callie Mike. If she ain't gonna listen to the teacher and the principal this week, and they don't get rid of her, what the fuck are they gonna be able to tell her next week when she won't listen again?
You've never taught children, ever.
Answer the question. If